Yeah, welcome everybody to our final so-called closing call of 15 Days to Wow. My name is Andrea Henning, managing partner from Lee True, and with me today, as always, my business partner, Franziska Decker. We have been on this adventure for many, many years now. The closing call sounds so final, and even though in reality, this is just the beginning. Now your plan is ready to unfold. And today's call is meant to help you feel empowered and to make sure that your plan has the best chance of being implemented. And I want to start with a little celebration. In a minute, we are asking you to reflect on what you particularly do like about your plan. And this could be the goals from the Bagua map, or a specific experience, a wisdom guideline, or rediscovered or newly found values, or your connection to your source of inspiration, something that feels empowering, or whatever it is. Anything else also is fine. So what we want to do now is look at your plan, or if you haven't pulled it all together yet, the building blocks you do have in place. And bear with me to answer the following questions intuitively, so not overthink. They are big questions, but just jot down what comes to mind while you might keep an eye on your plan and browse through it. So I will ask the question and then I will pause a bit, so give you the chance to intuitively jot down an answer. So the first question is, look at your plan. What are you most satisfied with and why? So just look at your plan. What is it that really feels satisfying and why is that? The next question could be, what gives you the most energy? So again, look at your goals, look at your wisdom guidelines, maybe your power source, or your values. Where do you really feel that they give energy? The next question is, what gives you the biggest push or nudge in the right direction? I can tell you my wisdom guidelines, keep your promise. That is pushing me into the right direction every day. So there is something where there's grit in it. So it's pushing you, keeping you on track. You feel the power. And the last question is that you remember your wowza and what you wrote down at the beginning regarding your focus areas. And maybe now that the plan has come together, which elements are particularly helpful? Where do you feel the most support or empowerment when it comes to the areas that you choose? Maybe you have completely forgotten about these areas. It seems a long time ago. And I want to add one question that I haven't thought before this call today, but just by looking at my plan, something that moved you when you discovered it? I just, Bert-Jan, you said that this 15 years, 15 days, there were some moving parts there, like in terms of emotional. And I see that Holly has a new haircut already, so you're completely ready for. Oh. And this is how you connect with your plan. Can you feel how you feel the energy? You're going into a relationship with your plan. And I want to hear a couple of people. What have you discovered by these questions? Yeah. So what have you discovered? So let's share. Who would like to share something around this discovery about your plan?
I would like to share something.
Yes.
Yes. So, what was funny for me to discover that what am I proud of? And I see in my WOW plan that I stated I will prioritize myself. And I compared it to the previous plans, and there it was more not that straightforward. That it was about this, what that this is what I was gonna do. It was more like I'm gonna give myself permission to prioritize myself, and now it feels more empowering. I am just gonna prioritize myself. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's celebrate that. Yoo-hoo.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
because it's
yeah.
funny. So now it's the commitment. No walking around it anymore like
Yeah.
bomb. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Who else would like to share something? And also the people who are not on camera, you can just, if you unmute yourself, I can see that, and I know that you are starting to talk, even if we cannot see you. Who would like to share?
Yeah. Shall I share something? Um, well, when I look to my inspiration and wisdom guidelines, they are all about connection and love and this kind. And but this yesterday morning, I walked the dog, and I do a practice now the last 2 weeks. I smile when I'm outside and say hello and good morning to people, just to feel what's the fact, because some people don't react. But yesterday morning, there was I think a woman around maybe 30 or something, and I she gave me a very warm smile, and well, somehow it struck me as lightning or so. I was completely shocked what it did with me, and I felt so happy. I don't know that woman. I see them. I've never seen them before, and so I had no idea. But just walking dog, and that this just simple saying good morning, and they get a smile back, and then um, uh, yeah, the whole reaction in my body, I was surprised that it can be about the little things. My idea is always to make it big, and now I realize it's about the small things, also to do for somebody else. Just the small things, and I really felt it this time.
It's beautiful, beautiful. And by the way, the first when we talked last time, Wiebke was here, and she has smile as a wisdom guideline, and we all were like, oh yeah, we want this too. And Holly, you also reacted to that. So that is a good one. It's somehow it touched us all, and now you come back with that. So yeah, I will definitely keep that in mind and be inspired to be aware of it. Thank you. Yeah, who else want to share something about your plan, what you discovered? It's always
Yeah, I can
inspiring.
share. Yeah,
Yes, Florence, yeah.
yeah. What I discovered was this time, it seems that all the building blocks complement one another. The idea that in my previous plan, sometimes there were loose things, it was a bit being like that and this and that. And this time I have the idea that the plan is much more comes together in a very natural way.
Mhm.
And also, I've done it a few times, and every time, sometime I was a bit anxious. So how can I find my wisdom guideline of core value? Really looking into it and not always getting it right of what I thought should be the right way. And this time, somehow, it went, just like a train. It just went easy. And this, this whole plan looks really, one plan, not just bits and pieces. So that was for me a sort of a new discovery for what I've done.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And you will see when you take it seriously, also during the year, meaning that you look at it very, very frequently. There are always entry points. When you feel a little bit overwhelmed by something, and you look at it, you will find a nugget there that gets you back on track. It's really miraculous how it can work. Yeah. Thank you. One more maybe in this element. What is it, Gabriele? Yeah.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you, Andrea and Francisca, for leading us through the whole program. It is lovely because I see the screen with myself, and then Andrea's left and Francisca's right. So I feel very much supported. Thank you for that. What I love with these exercises is really the focus and the clarity it brings. When you ask why and then another why, that it still brings things, even if you've done it more often. And I can really feel the flow and the movement now, which I love so much. So I have the 3 pillars of love, self-care, and meaningful. When I was noting down, I recognized already it's what moves you. It's around the love, which is with my husband and my kids and my horse and with nature. This is all captured there. And meaningful is around my new job, which is on the way. I mean, something will come on my way. And that self-care is more conditional for that, but not to be forgotten. But if I move, then it is around love and meaningful. And the wisdom guidelines, I printed them out twice, so I have them in front of me that I cannot forget, and then I can really once in a while take the print and read it and look to it. And I recognize what Bear-Jan is saying, because I'm starting to practice even more than I ever did before, and then I feel it in my body. And if I feel it in my body, so I had one request to join for an interview, and I'm not very much in favor. So my whole body says no, but I still want to explore, because you can also say no to things and then you miss the magic. So it is really interesting to be in that space and see how things are gonna work out, and even to feel that. So that is quite interesting over the last days and last week. So thank you for the journey.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for being us the journey. By the way, Holly, Gabrielle has been the year before you in Jordan. She was our pilot project, or we were her pilot project, depending. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for being so long already on this journey, some of you, with each other and with us. Yeah. So Holly, you wanted to say something about your plan also. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a quick, I have a few different things on it, but one thought was rearrange my focus. And that feels like it's everything, because if there are relationship issues, I have a daughter-in-law that's complicated, but I can rearrange my focus on her. And already in 2 weeks, we've come to a different place, which is really something else. And rearrange my focus on my fear of what's going on in the United States. And it's like, well, there's so many good people. Just, that person that smiled back and it felt so good to him. I mean, there are good people out there. So rearrange my focus has felt really like all encompassing to what I want to get done this year. So.
Wow. So that's great. Yes, that is definitely worth some love here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so now let's just do one last element here, which also is a pivotal thing, and take it with a grain of salt and a lot of humor. So we come to where the rubber hits the road. So we put ourselves to the test, and it's a so-called litmus test. I don't know if you know it, but it means that you're aware of a decisive factor that determines acceptance or rejection. So something decisive here. And what we are going to do is we ask ourselves honestly, how do I mess things up? Yeah. So what we do now is we take indeed a bit of time, and we create our personal recipe for failure. That's a really, really nice thing to do. And again, we definitely use humor as an ingredient to create it, but also know that there's a serious warning in it. After all, we know ourselves, right? So think of all the ingredients from your personality and your patterns that can mess things up and bake them together in a tasty pie. And it could sound like this. Huh? So my personal failure recipe. You take, for example, several 60-hour weeks in a row without a proper weekend, while also making sure I don't get more than 6 hours of sleep. As a result, I have absolutely no time to pause for a moment to reflect and regroup. I feel the nagging void. With nice but cheap chocolate and the cheese I had originally saved for breakfast. Then I add my tendency to take care of others more than myself, and the result is that I end up like a ship without an anchor, mainly reacting to the balls life throws at me instead of taking charge of my days, etc., etc., etc. So I want to invite you now to take your own patterns, put it into a pie, and just start writing a little bit of this recipe of failure. Go ahead, as if you make a meal. And of course, in a minute, I will ask one or two to read it out loud. It's always nice. And I realized this mine, of course, that was part of mine, what I read. I haven't baked this pie for quite some time. It's it's old, my recipe. So that's a nice realization also. Already someone who's ready, who can read their recipe.
I would love to share mine, but I hope you're going to tell us what we're going to do with this recipe with disaster to turn it around.
You will remember it during the year and you will look at it. Yes. So tell me, read it out loud. What's your recipe for failure?
Here's my recipe. Committing to too many things that I can't balance and stretches me and the family too thin, running myself down and making me into a crabby mommy who yells, and feeling failure when I can't accomplish everything. It drives me to insomnia at night, and I think of my to-do list and everything that stresses me out, or what we didn't accomplish to perfection. And thus, the insomnia drives me to being overtired because I haven't slept, and I substitute it with coffee.
Fantastic. Sounds like disaster indeed. And the thing with that is, Mina, that we are really painstakingly aware of this pattern. And then when you maybe how it can help is that when you kind of get into it, like the coffee could be entry point, and you think, oh no, I stop baking. I catch myself in the middle and I stop here. This is like being honest about our patterns, knowing it will nudge us when before it's going too far. That's the reason why we do that, and it's beautiful. I can really see it happening. Mina, thank you for sharing. Yeah. So who else would like to read their recipe for failure or disaster even?
It was really a fun thing to do.
Yes.
If there's no one else, I would like to share again. But I have to translate while I'm speaking because I wrote it in Dutch. Okay. Take 365 days and make sure that the majority of those days you are very focused on other people, what they want and what they need of you. Do neglect your sleep, your body movement, and when you eat, do it quickly in 10 minutes between all the activities. Make sure that when you're doing something fun with somebody, you keep thinking about what and when you need to do other stuff for other people. Plan your whole day really full so you can be on your organization modus all the time, and make sure you don't make time for spontaneous stuff, and also make sure to not really enjoy in the moment and to not really connect with yourself and with the person you are with. So you will be so next year when you make a list of what are you proud of or when you really felt in the zone, again, there's nothing you can think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This will work. Definitely. Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yes. Yes. Thank you. We have time for maybe one or two others. Who would like to? Isn't it fun just to read it out loud? Yeah. This is such a fun exercise. Yes, Fatma. Would you like to share yours? Yes.
Yeah, sure. I can try. If I can read my own handwriting. So what I have is take one journal, a cup of tea, and the ambition to figure the entirety of human life out, then stare into the dark abyss of overanalyzation, rejoiced by a pinch of procrastination in the form of doom scrolling for funny memes at night instead of a long stretch of deep yoga nidra meditation. Then focus on more to-do listing, filling up my agenda with all the less important things in life, to then complain about the lack of time for the real me to exist.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so beautiful. Yeah, that is so beautiful. Yeah, thank you all for sharing that, and treasure your own recipe for failure. It will definitely show up over the year. But for now, that's it for today. So I want to close off. Don't forget wow factor 14 and put an accountability structure into place, and 15 to share your plan. So the success also is in this finishing touch that you do. The heavy lifting is done, but an accountability structure like is spelled out in wow factor 14, and then sharing it with someone, your plan with what is spelled out in today's wow factor is pivotal. I mean, this has been really a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful journey. And thank you very much. And really take care. And you will get a final email from operations. And if you feel inspired, become a member of our community. It's free. And we have some touch base points on Zoom over the year to join for you and to rekindle your inspiration. And for now, I want to again say thank you and send you a big heart. And yeah, and now the journey really begins. And reach out if there's something to share. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.